Oh man. There we go. I think it's working. Did I do something wrong? Now I'm feeling bad. Got y'all in here. Sound still not working. Oh, come on. Is it working now? I think we're working now. All right. I think we're good. I think we're good. Hopefully we're good. I think we are good. Somebody let me know in the comments. All right, we good. So shout out to Media One is in the building. Said no sound. Okay, got it. All right, we good now. Yeah. So again, man, I'm gonna go back to where I was going with this. I appreciate y'all coming through here. I know it's almost 3 o'clock here my time. Some of y'all might still be at work. There were some folks who probably wanted to know what were my thoughts about this, man. And I think I think I was pretty much right on the point, on the head, nail on the head with this thing from the beginning. I seen a little bit of the interview, not the whole thing, but for the most part, in my opinion, I've been saying this for like a year and a half, right? For like a year and a half, and I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna be stopping it and giving my reactions and my thoughts to it, man. But I appreciate y'all who are in here early, early, early. Probably should have did this yesterday, right after it was um, aired. But if y'all didn't know, Coach Prime was on 60 Minutes. Been that show's been on as long as I've been alive, probably before I've even been alive. Um, but that's just a big, big thing for Jackson State, Coach Prime, Shadur, all these kids getting this type of exposure. And there are probably plenty of folks who was like watching it, like, who the hell is Jackson State? Have no idea, never heard of it. Unless you follow Coach Deion Sanders, unless you're from the South, unless you pay attention to HBCU sports, unless you pay attention to the SWAC sports and all those things like that. So there were probably plenty of folks on this thing yesterday trying to figure out why was Coach Sanders on 60 Minutes, and he shed light to a lot of things. He shed light to a lot of things that I've been talking about, that I've been preaching on this channel for nearly a year and a half, and then now you have the major networks basically just catching up to what what I've been saying and what others have been saying. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna share the screen so y'all can see what I'm talking about. My guy Hoops Jargon is in the building. My guy Hoop Jargon is in the building, and me and him both have been, expounding on this for almost a year and a half. For almost a year and a half, the Coach Prime effect, right? It's absolutely the Coach Prime effect. There's no doubt about it. So for all the folks who saying that the SWAC would be still getting this type of attention if he wasn't there, all these HBCUs would still be getting this type of attention if he wasn't there. So we're gonna jump right into this, and I'm gonna be pausing it a little bit, just giving my thoughts. So let's get right into it. 60-minute interview with Coach Prime. Let's get it. Y'all make sure y'all comment.
His personality is flamboyant as his football talent. Deion Sanders had two nicknames during his Hall of Fame NFL career. He was Neon Deion and Primetime. But for his latest gig, Sanders high stepped it to Mississippi. And at age 55, he's now the head football coach at Jackson State.
All right, I'm gonna start right there. I don't think I like the word gig. Right, I've never been a fan of the word gig. It seems like gig is more like a what's the word I'm looking for? Not like a permanent position. Not really accepting it, just doing it just to be doing it. Passing some time. That's where I feel about the word gig. I don't know if y'all feel the same way. I might be looking too much into it, but again, y'all let me know in the comments. Did my did my sound go back out? Did my sound go back out? No, it's good. It's good on this end. I think it's good. Um, And Media One says Dr. McClellan confirmed it. Confirmed what? Okay. Okay. D Lob's in the building. Hoop Jargon say we're good. All right. Just making sure because we had some technical difficulties to start
State,
this thing off.
an historically black university, or HBCU. Sanders' salary of $500,000 is less than 5% of what one state over, Alabama, pays its coach, Nick Saban. Yet Jackson State might.
So right there, we've done a video, and my guy Hoop Jargon basically did a video talking about how much Coach Prime has sacrificed and pay compared to his counterparts, like a Nick Saban who's making over $10 million, the Dabo Sweeney's of the world making over $10 million, the head coach at Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher, who can't seem to win the big game, consistently win the big game. They beat Alabama last year, but that's neither here nor there. But we talked about why Coach Prime is doing this, and it's not for the money. Y'all just heard $500,000 is not much for a head coach in today's world. In today's world, a head coach, football coach at that. I know some high school football coaches here in Texas alone that's making a meal plus, a meal two, a meal five. So for a head coach at a collegiate university, at a Division I university, to make $500,000 is not up to par. Shout out to America's Pastor. Uh, what to do, man? Appreciate you coming through. And I got Hoop Jordan saying what grease Palmer uses his head. I don't know. Probably just juices and berries, man. I ain't even got my sound effects on, man. Don't even have my sound effects on. I'm not gonna mess with it because it might mess up my. You know what? I do got a different form. Let's say shots fired on this one, man. Let me find my rifle shot. Shots fired by my man Hoop Jordan. So back to it. 500,000, not very much.
America, coaching talented recruits and winning games in equal measure. Powered by, yes, the style, but also the substance of the man who now calls himself Coach.
All right, so I don't know if y'all heard. Going, I think it's on loop. Actually, that's probably why. Yeah, it is. All right, take that off. I'm sorry, I apologize. But did y'all hear that word that he just threw in there called poaching? Right, poaching, and then we were saying that it was more of flipping a kid, but poaching means you're going to basically you're stealing, right? If you break that down, that means you're stealing from another person, right? You're taking it out without their permission. And what that's saying to me is that they don't really believe what Coach Prime is doing here was the correct thing or he did the right thing. But it's not poaching, right? The kid, Travis Hunter, and others have basically changed their mind and going to some certain places, right? We know Travis Hunter wanted to go to Florida State, big time school, big time recruit, and he changed his mind. But he threw this word in there called poaching, which is not what happened, right? It is not what happened. So that word right there is very, 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 very. I want to say strategic, strategically put in there. Poaching is not the word, folks. And my man Hoop Jordan says, yeah, the undertones are crazy. Yeah, the undertones are stupid crazy, man. And shout out Americans Pastor Travis says, and that 500,000 is his total contract payable at 125,000 per year over a 4-year contract. Did not know that, so appreciate you dropping that information in. But poaching, not the word, man. It is definitely not the word to be used. You could say flip, right? Flip this okay word, and even still, that's a little sketchy word in their usage. So we're gonna leave it at that and keep moving.
Prime.
The story will continue in a moment.
Fans, welcome your defending SWAC champion.
Deion Sanders had never coached in college when he agreed 2 years ago to try and rescue Jackson State from football irrelevance.
And so this is something we've been talking about too, as well, about how Jackson State was basically not mentioned a lot of times, right? That when we know the fans still travel strong, right? But football irrelevance as far as winning before Coach Prime there was there, it had not been happening, right? I think they since like 2008, 2010, somewhere in there, the Jackson State Tigers weren't winning very many football games. And my dates might be wrong. It might be up to like 2012. So basically, let's say at a minimum, a minimum of 8 years, that Jackson State football team was not winning very many games before Coach Sanders got there. And we know in his first year, basically he went 3-3 in the shortened season in the COVID year. In the COVID year, back to some of these comments. Clearly, this man is using the wrong grease. That's one of the greatest comments in YouTube history. Guy asked me what kind of grease I use in my hair. Antoine Moore said it's only flip when going to a Power 5 school, aka Alabama or Florida State. Yeah, and flip is a different word. Well, I guess we can use flip because the everyone basically knew that Travis Hunter was going to Florida State, right? And then Coach Prime came in late, enticed the young man and talked to him about certain things and what, he wanted to get done and what he can do for the next generation of players. So flip, it's not a bad word here, but I mean, let's move on. I'm not going to harp on that.
I truly believe with all my heart and soul that God called me collect. And I had to accept the charges.
You accepted the charges.
I had to accept the charges. But understanding when you accept those type of charges is going to cost you something.
Right. And the same can go for anyone who, believes in God when they say he called you for something, you have to be ready for it. That's what everyone says. And so Coach Prime is basically saying that he was ready for this moment and he was ready to sacrifice whatever else he may have been, may have been doing. Y'all know Coach Prime was on the NFL Network. He was on, I want to say CBS Sunday mornings, like all these things, and he had to give this up to go and coach at Jackson State, which in the end is not a bad thing, right? This is saying his calling was for this, and so this is why he is here at the moment. For folks who are not understanding, and Hoop Jargon says 2013. Okay, gotcha. So basically, still 8 or 9 years where Jackson State's football was not up to par to many standards from the Jackson State fans and alums.
What's it cost you?
A lot of sleep. But I can't say I don't love it. I love every darn minute of
it. So this is why I decided, when I first got out of school, I wanted to be a high school head coach, basketball coach. And then after years of just not doing what I was supposed to do, and, as time went by, I just sat back and realized, like, man, coaching is a lot of time. A lot of time. Football and basketball, it varies. And basketball is because, it's basically from October all the way into March, right? And high school basketball. And high school football, kind of different, but you're spending a lot of time because you're probably scouting on Thursdays, right? You're have a game on Friday, film session on Saturday, Sunday morning, you're probably back up at the school and you're getting ready for the next week. So it's a lot of time dealt being a head coach. I don't think folks really understand how much time these coaches put in with their kids, man. It's crazy a lot of time. And again, I appreciate the late comers. Know it's a work day, it's Monday morning, but I had to give y'all this action. Kevin Coleman really made them mad. Amaya Jones says, yeah, that's another one. That's another one. A lot of folks didn't see Kevin Coleman going over to Jackson State. He could have went to a whole bunch of schools, right? And him being from the Midwest, I believe that's culture shock probably coming down from where he's from down into the southeast region of this country. Might be a culture shock, but for some reason he was enticed and then he's there now. So that's what it is. So that's all it is. We're going to leave it at that. Antoine Moore said, let's just keep it at 100. HBCU football wasn't on the forefront until Prime joined the SWAC. Since being young, we all go for the bench. Yep. And I remember going to the Labor Day Classic down in Houston. I'm from Houston, going to the PV Texas Southern game. Used to be at the Astrodome when I was younger. And the stadium will be packed. But literally, the atrium where you walked around, that's where everybody was. They were walking around trying to holler at girls trying to holler at dudes. You see fights, you see all that type of stuff. But then once halftime hit, once the band hit, that's when everybody went to go fill their seats. So the culture has definitely changed into a more. I'm not going to be stupid to the fact of what's happening with Coach Prime. It's the Prime effect. Been saying it. I've done a video about it. My guy Hope Jordan has done a video about it. We've been saying this for almost a year and a half. A year and a half. And please, YouTube, don't get me for this. This is free use, fair use, fair use, fair use. This is my reaction video to the 60-minute interview Coach Prime had on the 60-minute channel the other day. We rarely saw the NFL pick up a kid. Now they have to take notice. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And if I remember correctly, again, I saw some of this video earlier, not the whole thing. I want to say he mentioned something about that.
It doesn't hurt that his team is darn good. The Jack.
So yeah, that right there was that necessary? As you know, I guess it's a slight jab, at Coach's Prime dialect and how he talks. He doesn't curse, right? So he says darn a lot, or darn, with that southern drawl. And here you have the reporter basically trying to, chime and tie that in together and saying darn good with his team. I don't think that was necessary. Not the biggest of deals, but I hope y'all are seeing what some of the context of the words are going on in this interview.
Jackson State Tigers are blazing through their HBCU football opponents.
Y'all hit that like
11-2
button.
Last season, undefeated so far this season.
Everybody do your job. Just do your job.
Watch the Tigers rack up points, led by Deion's son, quarterback Shedeur Sanders.
Make sure y'all hit that like
you
button
wonder
for
how
me.
they'd fare against the football elites, the so-called Power 5 schools.
Switch.
Sanders took the job at Jackson State 3 months after George Floyd's murder. Timing, he says, that was no coincidence.
It was relevant because it's a lot of folks sit back on the Twitter fingers and talk about what they're gonna do, and I wanted to go do it.
Do what?
So y'all remember the George Floyd incident? I think Kanye West is kind of getting in trouble about those comments here recently. But y'all remember the George Floyd incident with the cop and all this other. I don't want to get in politics and stuff like that and cops and all that other stuff. But what Coach Prime said right there was very important, because there are a lot of folks who sit behind the computer and basically say, things should change. This got to change. We got to do this and that. But there are a lot of folks who are saying it, but don't actually go out there and present themselves to do that kind of work, right? And that kind of work is not glorified, right? It's not glorified. Not a lot of people take notice to it. Even when you're doing charity work, there are folks who do it because they want to get recognition for doing charity work. And that's not what charity work is about. It is not about that. And so with him saying that, it makes me realize even some of the stuff that I want to do, I say I want to do it and I write it down. And then a lot of times I don't follow through on it. But the goal is to continue to try to get better. And there's nothing wrong with being called out about it. Folks can probably take that as an insult, what Coach Prime said about, sitting behind a computer or on Twitter or on Facebook saying what needs to change. But sometimes it takes to be called out to go out there and get the job done. So again, I appreciate y'all that are coming through here. I know we 3:00 on a Monday. We got some late bloomers. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. This is my reaction to the Coach Prime interview on 60 Minutes yesterday. Pretty sure most of you caught it. I'm pretty sure there's tons of videos out about this right now, but I'm giving my thoughts. So I appreciate that. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Please, please, please hit that like button for me. And if you like what we do, you can always hit the Cash App, the Super Chat, anything like that, super stickers, super thanks, all that good stuff. So let's get back into it. But back to what I was saying, it's hard. I don't say it's not hard. It's hard to follow through on, talking, right? Some people are talkers. Some people are about that action. And that's what Coach Prime basically said right now. He was about that action.
What?
Change lives, change the perspective of HBCU football, make everyone step up to the plate and do what's right by these kids.
So, man, if y'all been paying attention to this channel for over the last year or so, that sounds very eerily similar to what I've been saying. Sounds very eerily similar to what I've been saying about changing lives, changing the mindset of HBCU, changing the thought process of these younger kids. Because I live in the hood. I grew up in the hood, Houston, Texas, Acres home, excuse me. And then I went back and taught in that same neighborhood. And there are a lot of kids who had never even heard of a HBCU. And we had many, many teachers that went to Prairie View, went to Texas Southern. And we have kids in Texas Southern from where my hood is from. It's like 15 minutes tops. And we had some kids who had never even heard of it. Never even heard of it. So put this on a grander scale of things of Coach Prime being on TV, because we know kids watch TV. This might not have been something that they saw. Hopefully that they parent who knows a little bit something about something put this on yesterday and allowed their children to watch this. But on a grander scale of things, a grander scale of, let's say, football, there might be some kids out there to this day who still don't know where Jackson State is, what Florida A&M is, where Alcorn is. Like all these schools, where Arkansas Pine Bluff is. All these schools, just to name a few, there are some kids who might not know. And what Coach Prime is doing is bringing light. He's shedding light to these programs, and I can't hate him for that at all. Can't hate him for that at all. Get to some of these comments. One of these comments, I'm sorry. Lord, seven, a seven. SWAC teams don't deserve to see Prime at JSU for the most part. Empty stadiums all over the place for the most part, right? But it as they say, Rome was not built in a day. This is year 2.5 for Coach Prime, coming up on 3. It takes a time, man, right? We got to remember at one point, Alabama was in football purgatory as well. The University of Alabama, still one of the most recognizable Power 5 schools in football. For a long, long time, they were in football purgatory. Nobody was going there. Nobody was talking about, oh, man, I want to go play for Alabama until Nick Saban came. So if we want to compare this movement of what's happening, it's sharing very similar characteristics. Nobody was going to Alabama at one point. When did Nick Saban get there? 2006, 2007? You got to remember at one point during those early 2000s, it was Miami, USC, UT. Nick Saban comes along, LSU, they won a championship in that area, Florida. So all that, Nick Saban wasn't dominating the SEC. He wasn't dominating college football like that. It took him a while to get his type of recruits in. And that's what happens. And then Coach Prime just mentioned in this video also about basically saying that iron sharpens iron. And I'm going to rewind it back just a little bit because I lost my train of thought. But
Change lives, change the perspective of HBCU football, make everyone step up to the plate and do what's.
So that, again, you paid attention to this channel before. I've been saying what Coach Prime is doing in the SWAC, it is causing other coaches, it's causing other programs to reevaluate how they recruit, reevaluate who they hire. And you see a Grambling go out and try to get a guy like Hugh Jackson. And then Hugh Jackson brought in Art Browse. Alabama State go get Eddie Robinson Jr. And now all these schools now are trying to recruit 5- and 4-star kids. There was a time where nobody would recruit a top guy at a school. I remember my high school coach, Eddie Robinson, I'm sorry, legendary coach at Grambling. He came to my high school and was recruiting my brother, but that's, the football coaches, they kind of did some crazy stuff at that school. But Eddie Robinson, he didn't go talk to some of the top offensive guys at that school at the time. My brother was one of the better defensive players. But he didn't go talk to some of the better offensive side of things of guys. Now the mindset is changing. So, and that's, again, the Coach Prime effect. So let's get back to it.
It's right by these kids.
Ashley Robinson, Jackson State's athletic director, pursued rumors that Sanders might be interested in coaching and offered him a job.
What's been the impact here at Jackson State since he's arrived?
Coach Prime was the biggest hire in college football. I'm talking about Power 5 level. He's the biggest hire in college football.
All of college football.
All of college football. It's no.
Anybody disagree with that? He's been the biggest hire, the biggest name you could probably have to come coach in the college football level. Like Nick Saban coached at I want to say the Miami Dolphins for a little bit, but he didn't have the personality. He doesn't have the pedigree that Coach Prime had as a player, as a person. So I would say this might be one of the biggest hires in collegiate sports history. Might be one of the biggest hires in collegiate sports history. There are many Power 5 schools that don't pack their stadium. It takes time to grow your program and to change their mindset. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. If you don't win, I don't care what school you're at, especially at the lower levels. If you don't win, people are not going to come to see you. Now, at other bigger schools, right, they just love, they love the tailgate. They love the atmosphere. They love to go to these legendary stadiums and things like that. But for the most part, especially on the lower level schools, right, lower Division 1A, AA, excuse me, schools in the SWAC, schools in the Southland, schools in the Sun Belt, missing WAC, all these schools like that. If you don't win, people are not going to come and watch you. Bottom freaking line. I don't care who you are. Coaches like Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney, Pete Carroll, Bob Stoops, and Urban Meyer didn't have to worry about resources, fundraise, finance, and budget. Yeah, like their budgets are unbelievably crazy. Unbelievably crazy. So back to this, man.
No, there's no other Deion Sanders.
What's Deion Sanders worth to Jackson State?
Woo. I don't think I can put a number on it. I don't think it's enough zeros. I mean, he's worth a whole lot.
So shout out to the athletic director, Mr. Robinson there. Something I've been saying for a while. Deion Sanders is one of one. There is no comparison. And I'm not trying to be a D-Rod, as folks would say. I just recognize what it is, man. I just take it for what it's worth. The dude is one of the most legendary football players there is. Easily. And if you don't agree, you're lying to yourself. You're absolutely lying to yourself. Back to it. For use, YouTube.
The bump in attendance, buzz, and commerce is especially welcome in a city marked by poverty, deprivation that can be glimpsed just on the other side of the fence from the JSU football facility. The program was depressed as well. Time was Jackson State produced 4 Hall of Fame NFL players, including running back Walter Payton. But when Sanders arrived, not one Jackson State player had been drafted in 12 years.
What struck you about being?
That's a hell of a stat. 12 years. 12 years. So basically going back to the time when they were winning, right? So basically back to the time when they were winning.
Here on this campus?
The need.
What kind of needs are you sensing here?
You want to start in alphabetical order or numerical?
Sanders was immediately confronted with the economic realities of HBCUs and with the social cleavages of Mississippi.
What were the facilities like?
Horrible. And I'm sitting up there thinking, even to this day, how can a public high school in Texas look better than a college?
Just was talking about that. There are stadiums here in Texas that are better than some college football stadiums. All right. Allen High School, which is about 20 minutes from where I'm living at right now in Plano. They have one of the best stadiums in the country. Not just the state, they have one of the best stadiums in the country. Their school looks like a college. Duncanville High School. Can't compare to that. But Duncanville High School is a very, very big school. That's about 45 minutes from where I'm at, 45, 50 minutes. Their stadium is pretty good, but it's not Allen. Katy, down there by Houston. Unbelievable stadium. And this is exactly what Coach Prime is talking about. It is many, many, many more stadiums here and schools. Just the campus alone is better than some HBCU campuses. That's just being honest. Shout out to King David, producing 4 Hall of Famers, a hell of a stat also. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, man, I appreciate the late bloomers. Y'all make sure y'all comment. The comments keep this going. Y'all make sure y'all like. Make sure you subscribe. If you have not subscribed, please do so at this time. I appreciate y'all. We almost at about 80. So let's get them likes up. Get them likes up so we can get over 100 in here for this dope content we got rocking and rolling. Again, fair use YouTube.
Football facilities where you lived in Texas were better than this.
School. Forget the
Right.
darn football facility. The whole darn
Right.
school.
Right.
That shouldn't be right.
Jackson State's old practice field was so shabby, when it rained, the Tigers had to bus to a local high school.
That's bad.
Coach Prime reached out not
at
to
that
a
field,
wealthy
man.
booster, but to Walmart, which built Jackson State a brand new practice.
So shout out to Walmart. I know a lot of folks that don't like Walmart, but Walmart does do some good things. So shout out to Walmart for that donation to that university, which is
field.
Jackson State.
Next, he had a new locker room built.
Nice.
The attention Sanders has brought to HBCU football has translated into a revenue spike for his league, the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Dr. Charles. Shout out to Dr. Charles. I think he used to be the AD at PV. My guy Hope Jargon, I think met him many times. So
Dr. Charles McClelland is the conference commissioner.
Did you expect him to have this kind of an impact on HBCUs when he came to Jackson State?
I did not, and I often say this. I've been around stars before. This is the first time that I've been around a superstar. And
oh man, hold up, man. So I'm gonna get to these comments before I say what I was gonna say. King David says, JSU alum for life and subscribe. Appreciate you, King David, man. I apologize. I don't have my sound effects set up, and I don't want to set them up because we were having some audio issues. And then if I go to open up that, that setup, it might mess things up. So I don't want to deal with that. But I appreciate you, King David. Appreciate that. Let's see what else. Another comment here. America's Pastor Travel says, facts, my son graduated from the Woodlands High School, and that football program was like a Power 5 college program. Yeah, some of the very best facilities you have. North Shore is another school right now. It's becoming extremely crazy. North Shore High School, it's basically Houston, right? It's basically Houston. They're ranked in the nation now. Very, very good program. I haven't lost in a while. And my guy, Miak Mike. What up, Miak Mike? Salute to you, my guy. This is good for you. This is good you're playing this interview because I didn't catch it. Sunday is strictly an NFL day for me. Coach Prime is the man. You can't quantify his effect on the JSU program. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And back to, as he says, Coach Prime is a superstar. And again, if you have been following this channel for a year or so, I've said this in multiple streams, multiple videos. No, the dude is one of one. He's one of one. He's one of the most recognizable figures to ever grace this earth in the football world. In the football world, he not like a Michael Jordan or anything like that, but damn close. Damn close. I'm just letting y'all know. I've been ahead of this thing for a long time. My guy Hoop Jargon has been ahead of this thing for a long time. DJ Raw Uncut, others, and countless others have been ahead of this. So now you have these the ABCs of the world, the CBSs of the world, the ESPNs of the world, who are now catching up with stuff we've been talking about over 365 days ago. So, man, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button because we've been dropping this knowledge for y'all for the longest, man. Dropping this knowledge for the longest, man. Again, we got almost 80 people in here, only 20 likes, man. So y'all get them likes up. Get them likes up. But then again, everything's bigger than Texas. Absolutely, man. Texas is ridiculous. Texas football is a cult. It's a cult. And shout out Crosskey. What up, my guy? Appreciate you coming through.
I really did not realize
What
the
do you mean by
difference.
that?
Well, you know, a superstar can enter any room, can enter any boardroom. Coach Prime is a business person. Coach Prime.
Hey, man, if y'all heard me say that before, please drop me a 100 in the comments or a thumbs up. Y'all heard what Dr. Charles just said. Coach Prime is a business man. He's like no other coach you can have. Marketing genius, businessman. We've told y'all he's been in rooms that some of us can only ever dream about. The guy was been in room with Nike execs, been in rooms with NFL Network execs, the CBS execs, in rooms that we can only imagine what's happening. And he's been in these rooms on a consistent basis for the most part of his life, right? Since he was 20 something years old, for the most part. Now he's 55 years old. So again, been ahead of the curve on this way before this 60-minute interview. Way before this 60-minute interview. Way before this 60, absolutely 100. And shout out to Russell Haynes. Good job, host. Appreciate you. Awesome podcast. Appreciate you, man. So Media 100. Yeah. So y'all have heard me say this stuff before. So I don't just be talking out my butt. Right? I don't just be talking out my butt when I come in here and do these things. So we almost at 100 folks, man. So come on. Y'all keep them lights going. Let's get to 100 today.
Has opened up doors for the Southwestern Athletic Conference that we could not get into.
Pepsi, American Airlines, Procter & Gamble, all are new sponsors of Jackson State or the conference. Call it the Prime Effect.
See, I ain't even get to this part of the interview. Yeah, I saw probably the first 2 or 3 minutes of this interview. The Prime Effect. My guy Hoop Jargon has a video called The Prime Effect, and I believe I have a video called The Prime Effect. I can't remember, but I want to say I have a video called The Prime Effect as well. We've been talking about this, and here we are right here. This guy, the interviewer, I don't even know his name. He's basically just said the same thing we've been preaching for the longest, for over 365 days. The Prime Effect. He said it word for word. Word for word. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. And I know I'm getting my voice is probably a little louder than usual. I'm usually calm, but good Lord. I'm going to rewind it. I'm going to get to some of these comments first. Big Country Krosky says, you've been talking about this. So appreciate you, man. I got people know. I'm glad y'all giving it to me, man. I don't even need the acknowledgement, but I'm just saying that I've been saying. And shout out to my guy, Doug Jones. Doug Jones in the building. Salute to you, my guy. Doug Jones, one of the best scouts you will see in this country. He's based out of the Houston area, works for RCS Sports. Y'all heard me talk about RCS Sports before. Doug has been on this channel before. The high school season, basketball season is getting ready to kick off here in Texas in about 3 weeks. So, Doug, we probably need to get a show going within the next couple of weeks. So y'all go follow my guy Doug Jones on Twitter. He does have a YouTube page, but he doesn't use it very much. But go follow my guy Doug Jones, Prairie View alum, HBCU alum. My guy Doug Jones is in the building. Appreciate you coming through. And my guy Hope Krosky says you and Hope Jordan. He called him Hope Jordan. Yeah, man, we've been talking about this. MEAC Mike, truth be told, Coach Prime kept the SWAC intact. Rumors has it the Alabama schools were contemplating leaving the SWAC prior to Coach Prime arrival. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be surprised if that was true. I'm starting to think that people have been watching y'all. And don't think no, right? No, they've been watching, right? Because, and I said this in one of my guys, I got Hope Jargon's, one of his lives before. They dropped the ball on this movement. Somebody at ESPN, somebody at CBS, whatever, somebody at Fox Sports, somebody there dropped the ball. They probably lost their job because it was their job to anticipate. They have folks up there to anticipate this kind of stuff. And then now all of a sudden, like, damn, this thing really took off. Now they're trying to catch up, and we have YouTube channels that already been saying this kind of stuff. So I know they watch, right? I know they watch it. They know better, right? They know where the money goes. We know. I'm no fool, so I know they no fool. They owe you in hoop, Jordan. Yeah, they owe us. They owe some bread, man. I need 250 right here. 250 right here. Dick Sporting Good has a complete line of JSU sports clothing. Vincent Miles. That's crazy. And Doug says, let them know. Okay, yeah, we'll get that done. And still Hornets, man. Y'all needed that win last week. All right, so back to this interview. So again, I'm gonna rewind it. What he said exactly what I just said. Been
Procter &
saying.
Gamble, all are new sponsors of Jackson.
Go back again.
Pepsi, American Airlines, Procter & Gamble, all are new sponsors of Jackson State or the conference. Call it the Prime Effect. But for all the flash, Sanders is defiantly old school, even by football standards. What other head coach brings his own lawnmower to the practice facility?
Prime
I may
Wild.
tell you once, hey, you know that grass needs to be cut on Thursday. Okay. Now, if you don't cut it, I'm gonna go do it.
That's you in a nutshell, right there.
I can't. It's unfathomable to me to understand that you don't want to do your job and you're getting compensated for it.
Whew, that drives me nuts. I know plenty of people like that who want the job but don't want to do the work. Want to get paid but don't want to get the work. Y'all know somebody. Y'all know somebody in your family. Want all the accolades, want all the glory, want the money, want the endorsements, but don't want to put in the work. I see it all the time in the basketball world. Got Doug Jones is on here. He sees it all the time in the basketball world. Parents and kids probably come up into him saying, why I'm not ranked this and that. Because you're not putting in the work. You don't get to have the accolades. You don't get to have the rankings. You don't get to have none of that stuff if your butt not out there putting in the work. Bottom line. And that got me a little animated right there. Y'all know I'm usually chill on these things. That got me a little animated. I know folks like this, man. Whew, Lord Jesus, it's hard to work with them. Man, that burns me up. Jackson State is lucky that Coach Prime. Imagine if Coach Prime landed at Southern or Florida A&M. Those schools would have become unkillable giants. The Prime Effect works in any place. Absolutely. That's real. Yeah, that's real. And David says, not exactly. JSU ain't the only place he could have gone, but it's one of the bigger, more suited places for the growth he wants and expects facility-wise and so on. So,
That's not the generation I came from. We don't have water. Therefore, we don't have ice.
Also unfathomable to Sanders, how the city of Jackson hasn't been able to provide clean water consistently, or sometimes any water at all. At one point, a documentary team caught him bathing out of necessity in a hotel swim.
That's crazy right there. You have to bathe in the hotel. And there should be no reason. Water is the most abundant source on this planet. And there should be no reason for people not to be able to get water. That whole crisis was crazy. And I'm pretty sure people are still going through that. So if y'all know any organizations that you can donate to as far as water, maybe some money, maybe time, put it in the chat so we can still try to help out from a distance.
Swimming pool near the stadium.
The water crisis here was a national story. Tell me specifically how that impacted your program these last few months.
Forget our program. It impacted the whole darn city. I'm not into politics, but I am in the people.
Ooh, that's a handful right there. I'm not into politics, but I am into people. I'm not into politics, but I am into people. We got people saying, uh-oh. Did something happen on my end? Did something happen that I can't see what happened? Did the stream end or are we still going? Did something happen on my end? Somebody let me know. Is the stream still going? Yes or no? Yes or no? I don't think it might have stopped. Did we get booted? All right, so it looked like we have some issues with the stream. So let me stop sharing that. Hopefully, look like we got the raw end of the things. Not streaming it. Not streaming it. Did we get booted? Okay, 60 minutes got us. I guess they saying. All right, so I guess then we got booted, right? It looks like we got booted. Um, y'all let me know if it's still going. I mean, it's still saying that it's rocking and rolling over here. I guess they that the sound in too. Oh man, they hating. They hating on me. All right, so man, that was most of the video, man. Most of it. There was still a lot to dissect in that, man. I would probably have to go back and do it. Try to watch it on my end without having YouTube bother me, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. We were rocking and rolling too, man. We were rocking and rolling. Good. Not my fault. Not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. It's supposed to be fair use. It's supposed to be fair use when you do live reactions and stuff like that. But that it is what it is, man. But Coach Prom, that video was very, very powerful, very, very moving. As I'm kind of scrolling through this now on my end, I see Shador. Shador was on here. I see Travis Hunter was on here, so we talked about him. Um, talked about Travis Hunter and his and why he changed over. American Express said, "I see you here." That's crazy. Scott. I can't even see myself anymore. I can't even see myself anymore. I've been having issues with might be StreamYard, it might be whatever the case may be. But that's crazy, man. YouTube, man. That's supposed to be fair use. Y'all hating on your boy. Y'all tell him to stop hating on me, man. Uh, let's see what else is Coach Prime, man. They just mess me up. They just mess me up on everything. They just mess me up. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying I can't see myself right on this thing right now, which y'all are saying I can still. When Coach Prime bathed in the pool, we were dealing with ice storm, frozen pipe, his first spring season. We can see y'all say, yeah, 60 minutes need to cut me the check off the rip, man. They need to cut me the check off the rip. They owe me. They owe me. I can't believe they just did that to me. I can't believe they just did that to me. But man, for the most part, for the most part, what he's doing with the SWAC and what he's doing with HBCUs is unbelievable. He's causing folks like ESPN to take notice. He's causing folks like Fox Sport News to take notice. And so as I'm kind of watching the rest of that interview, the interviewer asked them, are there parallels to why certain areas in Mississippi compared to where Jackson State is at and where others is at, why there's a water shortage? And Coach Prom just said that you know darn well why it is the way it is. And I'll let y'all dissect it from that. And they talked about him having his surgery last year, which I did a video about that, and folks didn't realize how life threatening that was, or having blood clots in your legs. And he basically says, and it goes into another part where he says, the interviewer is basically asking him, how do you feel basically not being able to run anymore? And Coach Prom said, man, I've had my time. And this is what I preach on my end a lot of times about certain things. I had my time as an athlete, right? This is why I enjoy coaching. This is why I enjoy training. This is why I enjoy doing these YouTube shows to shed some light, to shed some thought to some of these younger athletes who might not think about this kind of stuff. might not think about this kind of stuff. So this is why Coach Prime said, I do this because I want somebody else to dominate in their life, in their journey. So I'm watching it over here, man. Y'all can always go, pull it up. Um, and they just showed Travis, and they asked Travis what made him change his mind. Right? They asked Travis what made him change his mind, and he said Coach Prime. He said Coach Prime, America's Pastor Travis says, don't sweat it. Sometimes your comrades in the game actually report you because you're a climber. Yeah, I know how that goes as well, man. I haters are gonna hate, man. And I had a incident this last couple of days where somebody told me that I was becoming an idol, right? Meaning that I was buying into my own hype, that uh, need I need to have followers. And I'm just like, you must not know me too well because that's not me, man. I'm one of the most humble persons you'll ever meet. I'm one of the most humble YouTubers you'll ever meet. Because this channel doesn't grow unless people actually enjoy what I have to say, what I have to talk about, and what I do. But none of that stuff will ever go to my head because I know what hard work is like. I know what it takes to get to a destination or a goal and be at the top of things and then be at the very bottom of things. I know what it takes, man. I was a walk-on in college. Shouldn't have been. I had to bust my butt harder than almost anybody. I went from doing that to being a starter. So can't nobody tell me nothing about working hard, about letting stuff go to my head. Can't nobody tell me nothing. And I went a different direction. But that every time I think about that, it kind of pisses me off because I'm like, yeah, dog, you don't know me like that. You don't know me like that. One of the hardest working people you know. We said it. We've been talking about this a couple of months now. Yeah. Man, I'm excited about the Coach Prime jacket and 2, I believe, T-shirts I ordered from Dick's. There you go, Vincent. Just keep your head in the game. You'll be fine. Oh, I'm always good. Always good. Always good. The PWI is trying to get him out their side to a PWI, but I think for a bigger reason to stop the movement. That's what they supposed to do. All right, this like warfare, right? You right? You know what they say? You cut off the head, the rest of the body would die. You cut off the head, the rest of the body would die. And I'm back to this interview. Um, but yeah, I know I got distracted there for a second. And man, that's crazy. I think I lost. Oh, I'm gonna lose all the views to this. I'm gonna lose all the monetization to this video. But so what? I don't care. I don't care. So 60 Minutes and everybody else or whoever reported me, y'all can have it, man. It's all good. It's all good. And they talked to Shadur. Shadur's talking about how, he loves playing in front of Jackson State fans and things of that nature. And then Coach Prime said HBCUs never recruited him. And then I think I saw that video where there was a coach that said that Coach Prime is lying. Good Lord. So they also just said that Jackson State's football budget is only $4 million. And y'all compare that, and we talked about this earlier in the video. Y'all can compare that to Ohio State or Alabama. That $4 million budget that Jackson State has, that's probably just for one area of recruiting. That's probably just for the defensive recruiters, the players that are recruiting that $4 million over at other programs. And then they also talked about, I can't remember what kid it was, but saying they were trying to recruit a kid, and it came down to Jackson State and Alabama. right? On a $4 million budget. And Jackson State's overall recruiting budget is way less. My guy Hoop Jargon did a video about that. Y'all go check it out on his channel. How basically Coach Prime is building a dynasty with pennies. A dynasty with pennies. As I'm finna get this background music going, I want y'all to just listen to me. If we still rocking and rolling, let me know. If we still rocking and rolling. I can't believe they did that to me. They flagged me. I can't believe they did that to me. Make no sense. Big Country says, and they scared because the SWAC is on the rise. 60 Minutes should be glad that Coach Prime on there because I don't know anybody on there. 60. Nobody watches 60 Minutes like that, really. Actually, and Coach Prime was saying that made him feel good that with the budget that they have, he was able to compete with the likes of Alabama. And then he says, just imagine if he had the same type of budget that he had. Imagine if they had the same type of facilities. The same type of facilities that these other places have. He's just saying imagine, and he said he was going to go, he's hoping a billionaire come out there, Rich. I wouldn't be surprised somebody comes along and tries to kind of interact with that. And as it's coming to the end of this, sorry, Coach Prime said, and I know a lot of Jackson State fans don't want to hear it, aren't going to want to hear it. But the interviewer asked him if a Power 5 school came with a such and such idea, came to him and saying, give me a number, what would you do? And Coach Prime said that he would entertain it. Gotta entertain it. You'd be a fool not to entertain it. And that's basically what he said. So I know a lot of Jackson State fans don't want to hear it, SWAC fans don't want to hear it, but if a Power 5 school approached him, not saying he's going to take it, he said he's going to entertain it. Because that's what you do as a businessman. That's what you do as a businessman. And Dr. Charles McClellan said it at the beginning of this video. Coach Sanders is a businessman. He's more of a businessman than he is a coach. And we gotta understand, it's all right, man. It's all right, man. And I hate the fact that they flagged me for that. Because that was a whole chunk of the video, which it's all good. Big Country said, let's talk about how Shador really should be in the Heisman race, bro. That acting like that because, well, he had a chance. And then this past weekend, he throws 2 interceptions to a not so good Bethune-Cookman. So that my opinion, that takes him out of the race. So, but he was performing well. 2 bad interceptions against a bad team. Not likely going to happen. Most of these major networks and PWIs could care less about the black community and helping our people. They just want to win at any cost. We will be getting 4- and 5-star players left to right in the SWAC. Miak Mike says $4 million is the budget for the water polo team at Ohio State. Trust me, someone at Billionaire is going to step up and make a name for themselves in JSU to help Prime. I wouldn't be surprised because billionaires think outside the box. They think about more ways to make money. And let's be honest, at the end of the day, this world, this country is about money, man. It's about money. And so if a billionaire sees the likes of a Coach Prime being so successful, they're going to want to come and get a piece of the pie. It's just simple dynamics. 4- and 5-star athletes ain't coming to SWAC. 4 and 5 Jackson State. He said that he needed a billionaire to take a chance on him, watch what he would do. Yeah, Vince Mouse. So you've seen the interview. As I'm trying to listen to it as well. And then Coach Prime goes into saying that he would never coach in the NFL because he cannot coach somebody who doesn't love the game. And I feel that, man. I feel that because I have a hard time coaching kids, training kids who don't love the game because the game of basketball, I'm a basketball trainer, the game of basketball opened up so many doors for me. It allowed me to see parts of this country that I never even dreamed about visiting, man. Like we played in Arkansas. We played at the University of Arkansas when I was in college. We played at the University of Missouri. Other places. I've been to Vegas because of basketball. I've been to Tennessee because of basketball. I've been to Georgia because of basketball. I've been to Chicago because of basketball. So when kids come in and they tripping and I got to tell them to go because basketball means the world to me, man. And I think my parents, especially my father, introduced it to me when I was at 3 years old. And soon as the first time I touched the basketball, that was my first love. And it ain't gonna change, man. Ain't gonna change. Krosky says Coach Prime is a good salesman, but you also said a couple. Yeah, said it, man. Said it. Been saying it, man. We got a 4-star at ASU. He's just not healthy all the way. So Terry Jones, just think about that. Oh, Terry Jones said if JSU go undefeated, it's going to be forced to leave. JSU gonna be forced to leave the SWAC. Why? Why? I don't think so. They're not. These top players are coming to be coached by one of the greatest players. The only thing you can equate Coach Prime is Michael Jordan coaching. Yeah, and I kind of said that earlier, man. Coach Prime is not on the level of Michael Jordan as far as recognizable figures, but let's say he's a tier lower. He's a tier lower. And the rest of the interview, Coach Prime talks about saying that he's a winner. He's a winner at everything he does. He wants to win, not only in sports, but winning at life. And that's a great, great mindset to have. Great mindset to have. I mean, like, I'm competitive. I'm one of the most competitive people you know. I can compete against these guys in YouTube, right? But for me, I'm competing against myself when I'm doing these things, man. It's a challenge for me every single day. And for folks who've been following this channel since the beginning, y'all know, like, when I first used to do these things, man, I'd be behind the scenes before the camera came on. I'd be so nervous. But I told myself, man, I'm gonna get better at this. And every week, every time I get on here, I'm trying to get better. So I'm competing and I'm winning at that. Winning at competing with myself, and I'm gonna continue to do that. There were times when I wouldn't even turn on my camera. There were times I wouldn't. For folks who follow this channel, man, y'all know. Big LT said Prime is the MJ of the NFL. Because Prime's character, man, he's more a people person. He's more personable than Michael Jordan ever will be. Man, you should invite Coach Prime to the show, man. I might just to. You never know. Until you ask, man. That's how one of my homeboys, that was his approach and hollering at girls. Man, worst she can say is no. The worst she can say is no. So I might just one day. He might not be as accessible as most people want. I'm pretty sure his inbox is full. I actually emailed some of the Jackson State coaches last year. Didn't hear a reply back, but it's cool. It's cool. Maybe one day this channel, if it continues to grow, and then the next time I come back around and ask, and they can be like, oh man, that's Between the Game Sports, man. He does a lot of great stuff, man. Let's go on this show. So just time it, man. Time it so I'm not tripping. Media One Live, you right. I traveled the world hosting tournaments for AU prep hoops and etc. I don't hire interns or staff who don't want to work. Absolutely right, man. Absolutely right. Man, I had some players. I had some really good players on my AU teams. I had to tell them to go on about their business because I had some guys who were trying to get up out the hood. They were trying to make it up out of the Houston. Man, y'all won't be surprised how many kids who have never been outside of Houston. Again, I told y'all earlier when I was I was teaching at the elementary school I was at. We had some kids who had never been to downtown Houston, and downtown Houston was 15 to 20 minutes away. So when it comes to this basketball thing, man, I want to work with people who want to work. I don't care what color you are, black, white, Hispanic, green, purple, aqua, whatever it may. As long as you want to work and learn, man, I might not be able to get you to the NBA, but I get you to, if you want to try to make it to college, man, I can damn sure try my best. I'm going to put you in the best position to be successful. And the rest is on you. And then you go out there and you do the work and you live with the results. I believe that's something Coach Prime probably lives by. I've never heard him say that out of his mouth, but for anybody who knows about working hard, man, you work hard, you give your best, and then you live with the results. You live with the results. That's all 60 Minutes did. Yeah, they interviewed Coach Prime and took my idea. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. I haven't even watched that video yet. D-Lob, what you talking about? This 60 Minute video, we had it going. For some reason, they flagged it. I don't know why they flagged it. We were doing exactly what YouTube tells us to do. Doing exactly what YouTube tells us to do when we are doing a live stream type of thing. Did exactly what YouTube, and yeah, I just got the email actually. So that's crazy. It says stream was interrupted when copyrighted content was detected. The copyrighted material is no longer being streamed. After the copyright material is no longer being streamed, streams are automatically re-enabled. So that it is what it is, man. So again, man, if y'all want to hit the Cash App or if y'all want to hit the super chat or super thanks, please do so, man. Please do so. I will appreciate it. But if anything, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit that like button. If you got any other social media, follow us on that. So right now, we had an hour. I'm going to put up the stream link for anybody who wants to come in here and speak their piece. You don't have a camera, that's fine. It doesn't matter. But if you want to come in here and speak your thoughts, speak your piece about what I just covered, now is the time. Just copy and paste it in the comments, and you can get that rocking and rolling, man. I should have put the call-in number up here. But it's all good. But again, if anybody wants to join in, please do so. Hit that like button. I hope y'all enjoy what I was talking about, all the points that I cover. I hope that it made sense. But again, some of the stuff that I've been preaching for a year and a half. I've been preaching this for a year and a half, and then you have the likes of 60 Minutes coming in and doing what I should have been getting paid for. So that's probably why they flagged me, because somebody said that I should have been getting paid. They need to cut me the check. That's probably why they flagged me. But I'm looking at the end of this video, and then basically he's saying that, again, something that I've said already earlier in this video. The interview goes, excuse me. The interview goes, what do you take away from this? What is basically your effect that you're having on SWAC and HBCU football? And Coach Prime says, you're here. You're here. So if he wasn't there, if he was not at Jackson State, if he was not at a SWAC school, if he was not at an HBCU school, 60 Minutes would have never stepped their butt in Jackson. So they Big Country says, I've been with you since you started talking about this stuff, and you be on point, as you can see. Yeah, man. I don't just talk. Man. When I come on here and do these things, I'm talking for a reason. I'm talking from a base of knowledge. Right? I do my research, man, but I'm kind of intelligent, man. You know, I was in AP and honors classes. I was a sports nerd, right? I was a nerd that played sports, or a sports guy that was a nerd. Like either way. But yeah, man, I just, it's amazing to me how 60 Minutes now all of a sudden wants to, come in and get a piece of that action. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's causing more exposure for the next person, for the next athlete, for the next kid, for the next young man, for the next young lady. And for folks who have been telling me for the longest, man, this ain't gonna last. Man, 2.5 years. 60 Minutes is there. Coach Prime was on Good Morning America at one point earlier this year. They've been talked about more than most Power 5 schools on ESPN First Take, on Undisputed. They were on Undisputed last week with the incident between him and Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. Now, y'all let me know if that was any other coach at an HBCU, that incident happened, it would never even had a segment. Never would have had a segment. So folks can't tell me what I'm talking about is false, is Bush League, anything like that. Can't tell me. You can't tell me. I know what I be talking about. I just don't be up here spewing out BS. I really, really don't, man. But no, that was a great, great interview. I really want somebody to come in here and, spread their thoughts. If not, it's cool. Also, I guess I can do the call-in number. Anybody want to call in? Anybody that want to call in, I need to go get if I'm going to do that, I need to go get my little system. Need to go get my little system for anybody who wants to call in. But that was a great, great segment for 60 Minutes. Great segment for Jackson State. Shadur did make a guest appearance. Travis Hunter made an appearance on there. And I'm pretty sure there's more footage to that it just didn't show. Big LT says they were on Undisputed today for 6. So again, me, Hoop Jargon, DJ Raw Uncut, other channels out there in the world. I don't check out too many other channels, but those are two that I do for sure. Because one, they're Houston people like myself. Me and Hoop Jargon are real friends in real life. Grew up together, played in leagues together. Oddly enough, his grandmother and then where my grandparents stayed at was on 2 different sides of the same street, but it was split inside and there was houses in front. We didn't know that for the longest until we got a little older. So crazy stuff. But again, everything I mentioned before, y'all can go back and fact check me. As y'all can see, Big Country Cross Key, he's validating everything I've been saying in this stream so far. The guy wants to make a change in people's lives. He doesn't understand lazy folks, which I don't understand lazy folks as well. But I do understand how easy it can be to get lazy. So let me throw that out there. Big Country says you probably know Erica Punder. Maybe, man. I don't know, man. Bad with names, good with faces. He's set out to change the dynamics, the thought process of what's happening. The prime effect, I've been talking about it. Hoop Jargon's been talking about it. 60 Minutes are now talking about it. So when y'all see these channels like myself and others, we get up here and start talking, man. Especially myself, just know I'm coming from a place of knowledge. I'm coming from a place of understanding. I'm not just spewing out BS, man. So I'm not just spewing out BS. I get to the meat and bones of this stuff and try to give a clear-cut understanding. And I always hope that when folks watch this channel, I hope that y'all take something away from it. I hope that you learn something. I hope that you might see it from a different perspective. So that's why I do these things, man. But Big Country, I don't know if I know you, because maybe I might. Media One Live said the people who may get upset that he may one day have to understand that his season is not their season. Not everyone in your life is called to stay forever. Yeah, and I said this before when folks are like, man, Coach Prime ain't leaving. And I want to say 5 or 6 years, right? I want to say 5 or 6 years he's probably gone. And then he mentioned that in the video, actually. And he basically said that he wants to take care of his coaches. And in one of my streams, can't remember which one, I said that when you're a coach, when you're a head coach and you become a successful coach, at some point you get to the point where like you need a new challenge, but then you also say to yourself, I've built so many of these young men or young women, right? Because there are women football coaches now, that you want to give them a chance to shine. And it's called building a coaching tree, right? That's why you have all these. Bill Walsh has a coaching tree. Mike Holmgren used to coach for the Green Bay Packers, has a coaching tree. Nick Saban has a coaching tree. Bill Belichick has a coaching tree. And shout out to American Pastor. Thanks for putting in the work. BTS, salute to you in the chat. See y'all on the next one. Be safe out there, man. So when you're a head coach, your goal is to make sure your assistants get their just due, their just deserve, because their assistants right now are not making very much money compared to other assistants across the board in the Power Fives. So when you're a head coach, yes, you want to build, you want to stay somewhere else, but if you can build it to where your assistant coaches can either have an heir at that same school or they can go somewhere else, then you're a successful coach. If you can get players into the NFL and you can get players a job, right? Because every player doesn't make it to the NFL or a certain Canadian league or whatever it may be. But if you can get those kids a job, don't matter how many wins. The wins look great. People are going to pat you on the butt. Hey, man, you're a great coach. But if you can get your coaches and your kids that play for you or your grad assistants, you can get them jobs, then you are a successful coach. Bottom line, I don't care what anybody says. You're not only a successful coach, you're a successful human being. And that's what we're about, man. You're a successful human being. So I'm kind of rambling now. Trying to see if somebody was going to come in here. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But Media One, you're absolutely right, man. You can't stay at one spot. Sometimes you have to grow. Like, this channel is growing. So I've been trying to learn some new things. For anyone who knows anything about Streamlabs OBS, I'm trying to incorporate some new things to this channel. I use StreamYard right now, but there's this thing out there called Streamlabs OBS and OBS. I've been trying to learn it. I can't figure it out. So if anybody knows that, but to continue to grow, you got to try new things. So that's what I'm trying to do now and make the channel better, more entertaining. So that's what it is, man. I don't hold anybody who wants to better themselves and get a better position. And in their eyes, right? And Big Country said, and that's what made me mad, because you've been saying the Prime Effect and didn't know nothing about it unless they watched your channel. Yep. Yep. It's the same with life and relationships. You can't get comfortable with people always telling you what you should be doing. Absolutely. Aaron Center, what's up, man? Yeah, man, you missed some good action, man. You missed some good action. It is what it is. You always come back and go through this. I enjoy doing this. Big Country says somebody somewhere watching, bro, they let you know you're doing something right. Yep, absolutely. Right. And I say this all the time. You don't have haters if you're not doing something right. No, ordinary people don't have haters, man. And I be seeing that stuff on Facebook all the time, man. Just like, I want to thank my haters and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, you ain't got no haters, man. You ain't got no haters. And if I got haters out there, oh well, I can care less. It doesn't bother me, man. Again, some people like me, some people hate me. Doesn't matter. I gotta keep living my life the best way I can and keep moving forward. But Aaron, man, I appreciate you coming through, my guy. Appreciate you coming through. But just go back and watch this. Check it out. Deion wants his own coaches, most Power 5 schools try to keep the good old boy on stop, but Prime is not for that, man. Prime, he's hiring folks who think can get the job done. As y'all can see, he has Coach Bartolone. I hope I'm saying that right. Bartolone. He's not of the African American descent. He might be mixed in there somewhere, but he's not of the African American descent. For the most part, from the outside looking in. I'll tell you the truth. I graduated from Morgan State. I never really watched any SWAC football games until Prime got there. I only watched MEAC and CIAA games. Nothing wrong with that. And MEAC Mike, you've come to this channel. You have fun with this channel. You talk in a very respectable way. You go back and forth with the other, people of the chat and of this channel. And man, we love you for it, man. Right? You've put me on game with some MEAC schools. So and I'm more SWAC. I know more about SWAC. Let me rephrase that, because I don't want folks coming on here saying you not SWAC. Which I'm not SWAC. I didn't go to a SWAC school. I know more about SWAC because I live in the region of SWAC schools. But MEAC Mike has put me on game about other HBCUs. And so I don't understand why folks don't really get that for the most part. I really don't understand why folks don't get that. It's crazy. Aaron Center, what's up? Okay, y'all going back and forth with that. Me, Mike 100. You not swag? I'm swag. Yeah, man. I'm not. I know sports though. I know you playing, man. It's all good. But man, we about to reach an hour and 22 minutes. Again, if anybody wants to call in or jump in on the stream link real quick, you can. I appreciate y'all coming through as always. I'm probably going to do the Monday Night Football game tonight. Probably going to stream that. So if y'all want to come back in here and talk noise with each other, y'all can. So more than likely, I'm probably going to do the Monday night. I think it's the Chargers versus the Broncos. And for the love of God, if anybody else has noticed this, I'm pretty sure the Broncos have been on primetime TV like 4 or 5 times already. Anybody else noticed this yet? Pretty sure the Broncos have been on primetime TV 4 or 5 times, and I'm sick of looking at them. Me, Mike, what's good, my guy? I'm mad I had to work and miss the show. It's all good, man. Aaron, man, I thought about waiting to do this a little later. I really did. But I was just like, let me just go on, hop on to it, man. I got some time. I didn't want to do this and then turn it right around and do the Monday Night Football show. So the numbers are a little down. It's all good. Me and Mike is just excited, all of us. And the problem effect is real. This is a great channel, bro. I ran across him last year and I haven't missed a video yet. Appreciate you, big country. Hell, Coach Deion not only helped the SWAC, but he's helped the MEAC also. Dude he's changing lives, and he said that in a 60-minute interview that he's changing lives. So it's great, man. It is great. Again, I'm a Deion fan, so even with his time there, I might have not have been doing, HBCU, covering HBCUs. The movement was happening a little bit. It was happening, but he just kind of elevated it to a whole nother level. And so here we are. It is what it is. I appreciate y'all always coming through here and listening to me ramble, man. And so you got that bread. It's homecoming week. Yeah, so shout out to it's homecoming week, man. I might do the game this weekend between Jackson State and Campbell. I might be at the Texas Fair. And it's the last weekend of the Texas State Fair. And I gotta get my funnel cake and I gotta get my turkey leg. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. But man, y'all make sure. Couple more comments. I'm a DM fan, but I'm all for the SWAC, man. Yep. And Media One says, have you ever considered covering youth sport games or game recaps on your channel? I'm working on a platform. Yeah, man, I do have a it's crazy that you say that, right? Media One. Crazy that you say that. So my guy Doug Jones was in here earlier. He does work with RCS Sports. And guy named Jim Hicks. Jim Hicks covered me when I was in high school, recruiting and stuff like that. But I bought some of the camera work for the channel, and then I bought other stuff to go and do high school basketball games and cover high school athletes. So that's Media One. You're ahead of me right there. But yeah, I definitely do that kind of stuff. I did on my channel here. I think it's on my channel here. I did a game between a school called Lake Highlands and Dallas Jesuit. And Lake Highlands this was last year. And at the time, this kid was number 5 in his class. He was a sophomore. This year, he's number 1. He's the number 1 basketball player in his class on ESPN and 24/7 ESPN. His name is Trey Johnson. He goes to a school called Lake Highlands out here in Dallas. I did that game last year. I heard about him. Didn't know how good he was. But yeah, man, I've already got couple of schools, Plano High School, Lake Highlands again, some girls' schools out here, Allen, which is going to be really good in basketball. They are going to allow me to come to their games and film, do highlights for them and film their games. So I'm definitely going to be putting that on this channel. So hopefully y'all like that as well. There is a high school basketball event, opening day event going on in Houston, November 11th and 12th. So if you live in the Houston areas at M.O. Campbell Center in Houston, Texas, I might go live for one of those games because it's usually the matchups are usually a highly ranked kid or a highly ranked state team. So it's crazy that you do that. Crazy that you said ask that. Media One, man. So Media One, hit me up on Instagram, man. I might got some questions and stuff like that. I'm trying to work on my press pass for collegiate games. Got that rocking and rolling a little bit. Mike says Vince Coach Brown was one of my favorite football players when I was a kid. I did get to see him play as a team. There you go. I never did like loud people, so I never liked Prime. Not really an NFL fan, so it wasn't because of he beat my team, but what he doing was cool with me. I got you, understandable. Media One, it's about giving the parents and students an experience they would never forget and also grow from. Yeah, absolutely, man. So again, I just went and bought another camera lens today. Again, keep telling y'all the donations that y'all, give to this channel, the stuff through Super Chat. I can't think. Good Lord, Cash App, all that stuff. So I had to go get another camera lens for basketball season today. Just got it right before, probably an hour before I got on here. So yeah, we ready, man. We ready. Me and Mike said, Ever 20 game. Have you ever been to a CIAA tournament? It's the second largest basketball tournament behind the AC. Where's it at, man? It's a basketball tournament. Where's it at? Hopefully, man. Look, I'm working on my media credentials, man. I'm working on a media kit. That's why I need this channel to continue to grow. So when I show up to these events, I have my media pass. I do have a media pass, but I need my media kit so they can be like, oh man, yeah, definitely let him in. But working on my media press credentials and all that other good stuff, man. So then the near future, I want to go to the Super Bowl next year. I'm going to be doing UTA, University of Texas Arlington. They're going to allow me to come in and do some stuff there. But 2023, man, y'all gonna see me. Y'all gonna see me either at the stands or on the sideline at a few of these SWAC games. And me and Mike, man, if you know somebody, you can get me out there, somewhere out there, definitely gonna see me at these sidelines, man. See me at these games. So, all right, so we just hit a minute and 29. I appreciate y'all coming through. I know the end of the show got kind of ragged and off topic, but again, there it is. Deion Sanders on 60 Minutes, the Coach Prime effect, as me and others have stated, me and my guy Hope Jorgen have stated, the Prime effect is real. We've been talking about this for over a year. And Keith is in the building. Oh, we got some late strike. Keith, have you seen Allen High School Center? Yeah, man. Yeah. I live like 20 minutes from Allen High School now. So I've seen it on multiple occasions. It's crazy, man. Gina Bina, I don't know if you just getting here or you late or whatever, or you been here and just ain't saying nothing. So salute to you. I appreciate y'all. Big Country says next year, yeah, man. Next year for sure. My goal is to be on the road. I'm trying to get things where I can just, financially, man, he's still growing. So still growing, but financially, I don't like driving anymore. So hopefully I can, you know what, man, I'm going to Alabama State and Alabama A&M game next year. I'm getting on the plane. I'm flying out there. Actually, my homeboy lives in Birmingham. I just talked to him 2 days ago. He said that game is crazy. But next year, 2023, y'all continue to support this channel. Y'all see the growth, man, and I appreciate it. Maybe we can do a pop-up shop or meet and greet somewhere one day. But I appreciate every single body that always comes to this thing and patronize this channel. Y'all always showing love. Y'all make me feel like that I'm giving you some great information. So if you are learning things from this channel, then that means we're doing something right. If you are learning from this channel, that means this school is mad. Yeah, this school is massive. I will be down there next week on the 29th. So got y'all, man. Y'all be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Again, I'm probably going to be doing the Monday Night Football game. So y'all come back and entertain and interact with me, because that's a little different, right? We don't show the games, we don't mess with the NFL like that. So, but if y'all come in here and talk noise and enjoy what I do, I appreciate it. Y'all come back for the Monday Night Football action. So, as always, I try to leave you with some words of wisdom, something to think about. So, between the game sports, on your best day, be better. Think about it. I'm out. Peace.